And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling out there? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Hope you guys are having a decent hump day. I am, forgive me, I look distracted because I'm sitting here trying to get the setup taken care of. Whenever I come on, there's always little things that have changed on StreamYard. And I guess I should pay better attention, right? I'm just checking out the audio. Audio looks good. I guess I should pay more attention when this stuff happens. I'm just kind of like out there. Here we go. All right, now just you guys know how I do it. I'll run it on my phone. I'm also like kind of just doing my little setup here. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Today, man, we're going to talk a little bit about red pill rage, man. It's a thing. A lot of people want the red pill to be just a bunch of angry dudes, a bunch of incels, a bunch of weirdos, and they don't want to talk about what's really going on over there, which is just a group of men from all walks of life, from every different bubble you can think of, who are coming over to teach, other men how this game is really played, right? And a lot of times when dudes find out, they get mad. And that is the red pill rage phase. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome. Did I really want to know podcast, y'all? So yeah, man, that's what we're into. That's what we're gonna do here. Man, I don't know what I did with my computer, bro. I did something and it changed. It's like all dark on one screen. I don't know what I did. I can look at it. I mean, it is what it is. I must have hit some setting. You know how they have those quick features. You just hit a key and then it starts making changes. I don't know what I hit, bro. It is what it is. That's what I get for being non-computer savvy. But everything's working. Everything seems to be good. Audio's good. You guys are here. Appreciate you. Please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Let's help us get the word out. We're still growing. It's like we grow a little bit, man, and then we plateau for a while. Then we grow a little bit more and we plateau for a while. And I've been watching videos on YouTube. Okay, like maybe I'm doing something wrong with the way that I'm uploading videos or something or whatever. So I'm working on that as well. So you'll see me just doing random stuff, posting videos, doing all kind of stuff just randomly. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can do on my end to get the algorithm to catch on to what we're doing over here and push this content. But you guys know where I stand on this. I really think that there's a naughty list out there, and I do believe that there's a such thing as a shadow ban, and I think that this platform is caught up in that. But that's not going to stop us. We're going to keep doing what we do, and this helps me out anyway. It gives me an opportunity to just kind of vent as well. For me, this is good. This is one of the things I like about this community, man, like the red pill world, the manosphere. You get out here and just kind of get the stuff out, man. Just say it. So today we're going to talk about the red pill rage, bro. I mean, it's out there. And I found there's two videos that I want us to check out. And I just want to point some stuff out. A lot of dudes, right? It's a lot of the guys that find themselves in this rabbit hole. Again, like I said before, something or someone pushed them down the rabbit hole. Someone like me, I just came down just to see what was going on. I was kind of looking for some answers for something that had just happened to me. And again, being older, not really understanding how the other generations are doing it. I like, let me go down here and see. And let me hit this, let me hit up some videos. Let me type this in the search engine and see what comes up. And that's what led me to the red pill. And eventually finding Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, Coach Greg Adams, Rich Cooper, Rolo Tomasi, Lucario. Like it's so many people that I found just kind of coming down. And it's like, oh, you look at someone like a Dose of Game. you know, I bet you if you were to talk to Dose, his thing is just like, man, I'm not red pill. He just giving the game, right? But that's also part of this. Like the way I look at the red pill, the manosphere, anything that's male centric is going to help men improve or help men understand what's going on. You know, I consider that red pill. A lot of the guys come down here and they just want to talk about dating. I get that. But, you know, that red pill lens extends to any and every topic that's out there. So today we're going to look at some videos. The first video we're going to look at, the name of the YouTube channel, Dad Mode in Dark Mode. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this platform, but I've seen a little bit of his content. And I mean, the title says it all. And, you know, there's a lot of men who got into the game, bought into the Disney fairy tale, was in their mind living the happily ever after part. And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, they get run over by a train in the form of divorce, having to go through the family law system, you know, losing access to their children, losing their homes in some cases, having, you know, losing a lot of money, being devastated financially. And they still don't know why. They're just kind of sitting there like, what happened? And that's going to affect you, bro. I'm here to tell you, that's going to affect you. And a lot of guys like that, guys like me, we get into this space to kind of let other guys know, like, hey, bro, this is how this game is played. This game ain't no joke, bro. It is full contact. Like, don't nobody care about your feelings or your emotions. So just understand that. And I'm not telling dudes to walk away from the game. I'm just simply telling dudes this is how it goes, right? So whatever you thinking, whatever you've been told, nah, man, nah. You know, this is what you need to do, and this is what could happen. So be careful and look for this. But unfortunately, that message comes too late for a lot of people. And then these dudes get really bitter. They get really upset. And I get it. I get it. You have been told and programmed to believe a certain thing for your whole life. You do everything by the numbers. You're a good person. You've never hurt anyone. You do all this kind of stuff. You're the good guy. Then something goes sideways. It goes bad. And you lose as the good guy. And you're looking across at the other person that's done you all this harm, and you just gonna focus on that person, and you know that's where rage comes in. You get really upset. And I tell folks all the time, like, man, I understand it. You know what I'm saying? You took this L. You're gonna have to shake it off, bro. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get back on that horse, so to speak. Push forward. Push forward. But a lot of guys, they don't dwell right in the rage, but they stay close to it. Right? They're not 100% in it, but they stay close to it. Maybe it's a longer process for them to break away. And their content seems kind of dark. That's why you have this dad mode in dark mode. This is a guy who went through it, and he's just giving you his honest take on what went down, and then expands that out as to why he thinks the whole game is over, all is lost kind of thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I get where you're coming from. I take it the next step. I'm like, look, if you want to stop, fine. If you don't want to get in the game, if you want to get out, you want to go MGTOW, whatever, that's fine. If you just want to sit down for a while and until you're ready to get back in, that's fine too. If you want to jump right back in, that's okay too. Just understand what you're doing, understand the rules, understand what's at stake. So over here, that's why we're always talking that, hey, bro, if you have a lot, if you got a lot, right, you could lose it. You could lose half. You could lose over half. You know what I mean? Losing access to your kids and all that, having to spend a lot of money on court and all that. So just be prepared for that. Understand it can happen. And one of the things we talk about over here is the vetting process. If you're going to engage with the dating game today, just make sure you vet the person you're dealing with or the people you're dealing with. Make sure you vet them. 2-year minimum. 2 years. It's really hard to fool somebody in 2 years. Within 2 years, you know what you got. And then if that's what you're cool with, then go ahead and move forward, because men don't need, 100% of what they're looking for in a wife or a significant other. Men will be good. They'll be good with like 75, 80%. You can get 80% of what you're looking for out of a woman. You're going to be happy. Women, on the other hand, they got to have 100%. So this is how the game kind of goes. Right. So we're going to check out this video, guys. Again, it's a dad mode and dark mode. I haven't watched this particular video. I did watch, like I said, a little bit of his content, but I just wanted to, be able to throw my 2 cents in live as we watch this, as it plays out. And when I look at this guy, man, he seems like just a good dude, like a good dude who went through a bad situation. That's what I see here. I see a good guy who went through a bad situation, and he's trying his best to help others. And the title of this video is I'm 40. Here's what 20 years of mistakes taught me in 15 minutes. So he's going to run down his mistakes. And that's, again, the whole point of the manosphere. The whole point of this red pill stuff, man, is to, as men, do our best to help others, help other dudes, and give this information. Because my whole thing is, bro, like, just understand the game you're playing. If it goes sideways, you know what I mean? It's no matter what, you're responsible. It's your fault, no matter what. You chose to mess with that woman, or you chose to get into that situation, whatever the case is. You just went in blind. All I'm saying is take the blindfold off, man. Go in knowing that this is how it could be. Enjoy yourself, but pay attention. Pay attention, because if it goes sideways, it can cost you if you didn't take precautions, if you didn't, move a certain way. Right? So let's get in here. Let's check out what he's talking about. Again, this is a dad mode in dark mode.
So I'm 40 years old, and I'm going to be compressing the last 22 years of my life in roughly 10 minutes here. So the major mistakes that I've made, the pain that I've felt and dealt with, and the wrong turns that nearly cost me everything. So the next 10 minutes, it might save you from losing a decade trying to learn what I had to suffer through to understand. And nothing that I am going to say here is theoretical. It is all firsthand experience. It's hard earned. It's paid for in time, and lots of regret and consequences. So this is what happens when you stop running from your past long enough to study it. So if you're in your late teens or 20s, listen closely, okay? Because I've paid a very dear price for these lessons, and I would rather you learn from my scars than earn your own the hard way, okay? So,
wow, I mean, right off the rip, man, I like where this brother's coming from. One of the things I want to point out to you, man, like when people make videos, one of the things I do is I look at the background. Like I look at what the crib is looking like. I'm looking around. Like this dude he seems very squared away. If you're just looking at the house, very squared away. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he's a bachelor. I wouldn't be surprised if he is. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, and like this dude really has his home in order. His crib is, you look at it, it's tight. You got some art on the wall. You got some nice accents, like some cool little lamps or whatever. The TV, like, you just kind of glance behind me. The kitchen looks really nice and neat and clean, way back there in the background. Bro, the reason I bring that up, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of women, dudes too. When you're looking at their background, man, it's complete chaos. Complete chaos. And it's, that's when I tell folks, like, man, you go to somebody's crib and it's like jacked up all the time. That says a little bit about that person. Be careful of the person that you're dealing with right there, because you see how they living, because I have a teenager, and I'm constantly on my teenager, like, hey, pick this up, pick that up. And it's not like that I am the most squared away. My place is like immaculate. No. Right. But it's presentable at all times. And if I know someone's coming, and it'll just take 10 minutes to spruce everything up and we good. But with my daughter, I mean, it's to the point where I have to close her bathroom off, close her bedroom off, like no one go in there, because it's a process. I'm not going to go in there and do it for her. So like, you want to live in squalor, I'm going to let you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let you have food back there, because we don't want bugs. We don't want little critters coming through the house or anything like that. But I'm going to let it be messy. I'm going to sit there and it's been a slow process, but it's starting to work, because now she's starting to clean up. Now she's starting to do things, because she's getting tired of tripping over stuff. And, I come in the room and make comments, and yeah, I could come in there and just be drill sergeant about it. You will do this, take everything that she wants to do out. Like, if you want this stuff back, you got to clean your room. I could do that. But I'm trying a different tact. Like, I'm going to try it this way, and it's slowly working. Like in her bathroom, like that's the biggest one. Man, we went from, man, this thing should be condemned to, okay, we're almost there. Like, we're almost there. And man, I've been around so many women who just have terrible, sloppy, nasty living spaces. And I'm like, where does this come from? And came from mom and dad doing everything for them. It's like they have a live-in maid. Then they get out on their own and there's no one picking up after them. So these are the conversations I have. And again, I got 2 years to get her squared away. She'll be done with high school in a couple of years. So we're working on this. And as we get closer and closer to graduation, get a little more and more intense and a little more and more intense. Right. So just wanted to throw that out there, man. Like, shout out to dude. His crib looks perfectly squared away. We got brother Michael in the building. What's up, fam? I agree with you, bro. The thing with weaves, bro, is a lot of weaves out there. I'm just like, no excessive weaves. I want weaves just kind of make sense. Yeah, I get it. In certain communities, it's going to be almost impossible to, let's keep it 100. Like in the black community, it's going to be really hard to find a woman that's not dealing with weaves and wigs. It's just what they're doing today. That might change tomorrow. But like hair hat hooligans, hilarious. The back wing eyelashes, all that, the BBLs, tattoos. I think tattoos are I think women are starting to pull back on tattoos because they're posting stuff and they're looking for validation, and more dudes are not lying anymore. And dudes are like, yeah, man, we don't like tattoos. Even in the dating world, right? When dudes see the tattoos, they're kind of like, the women are seeing like, oh, so I think you're going to see women pull back on tattoos. It's going to take a while. It took a while to get to this point. It's going to take a while to come back. But when women realize that this is hurting them from getting the guy that they want, then they'll stop. That doesn't mean that once they get the guy, they get married, they get what they want, then they'll go get a tattoo. They might do that, right? But I mean, all these tattoos like on their chest, on their arms, on their legs. As soon as I see that, if I see excessive tattoos, like I'm done. Like I really don't want to holler at you. You know what I mean? If she's, especially at this age, it's like, man, she got a banging body and she just don't want to have a one-nighter. Maybe. But for the most part, it's like at this age. When I was younger, bro, it didn't matter. I was smashing. It is what it was. It is what it is. We got brother Cody in the building. What's good, fam? Wow, yeah, my StreamYard has changed, man. I didn't change anything, but look how big when we put the chat on the screen. Remember, it used to be like half the size, but it's way bigger now. Yeah, she will all of a sudden start cleaning once, and there's potential of a boyfriend coming over. They're all magically become Mr. Clean when it may affect the boy will see them. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. I mean, this is why you got to vet. This is why it takes time. It takes a couple years, right? It takes a couple years to see how they're going to act, bro. And like I said, one of the things I used to say, and this was 10, 15 years ago, I would say, yeah, go ahead and live with her. Like that last 6 months, live with her just to see. Now I'm like, nah, I would say cohabitate a little bit. And what I mean by that is overlap a little bit. Like keep your place. She keeps her place, but you guys spend a lot of time with one another. Maybe do that whole, here's one drawer for you at my place. I got a drawer at your place kind of thing, but don't let her get mail delivered to you and stuff like that. Don't let her do that. Like if you're going to get mail delivered, get it delivered to your place and I'll go pick it up. Well, I'm over here. Like, no, just have it delivered. If it's for you, deliver it to your place and I'll pick it up. If you're going to order something on Amazon, I'll order it for you, right? If you want to deliver it here, but, be real careful with that. You don't want, the situation where she can go and show authorities like I've been living here. I've been receiving mail. I've been paying utilities over there. That's when you're starting to get yourself entangled. You want to be careful of that. So make sure she maintains a place. You maintain a place, but y'all have some overlap for that last 6 months. You know what I mean? So you can really see what's up. That's my take on that anyway. You know what I mean? And brother Michael, like, for, the recreational uses, but you got to understand there's a lot of dudes out here who overlook these things. There are guys out there, man, let's keep it 100. They just have zero standards. And that's why this red pill message is good for them. You know what I mean? Like you said, they'll step up and all that kind of stuff. Like, what are you doing? Like you bro, that's like the craziest thing to do. Step into a situation where you're dealing with a woman who has kids and you don't have any kids and you're going to be involved with that. Like, bro, that can wreck things. But again, this is why this space is here. This is a space. My thing is, hey, man, if you want to get yourself in a situation where you're a stepfather, okay, that's fine. I ain't got no problem with that. If that's what you want to do, fine. But understand what could happen. And a lot of times when I talk to the guys and I tell them, like, bro, if something goes wrong, if you're with her long enough, the court may force you to pay child support for those children. It's like, well, those aren't my kids. I'm like, the court might say they are, and you'll have to pay child support. It's like, what? I'm like, I'm just saying. Just understand, accept that. If you cool with that, then move forward. And a lot of times guys get involved, man. Like I said, men love differently than women. They get involved with women who have children. The guys, they love the children too, and they're raising the kids. Then the woman decides she wants to leave. She takes the kids. You have no legal standing. Isn't that crazy? The court can make you pay for children if they want to. But if you're like, no, I want legal custody over these kids. I've been raising these kids. The court can also say no. You can say no, and you can, and she can get a restraining order, and you can't even talk to the kids. Isn't it funny how that works, bro? So I just tell folks, like, make sure you understand the rules. Like, if you're going into the situation, understand the worst case scenario. When I was a paratrooper once upon a time, man, when I was a youngster and we were jumping out of airplanes, we're out there doing America's business, I knew that I could die. Right? This is one of those things like, bro, I know I could die. This is a very dangerous endeavor, but this is what I wanted to do, right? I was born to be airborne, and I did it, and I didn't cry. All the times we got hurt, all the times we had these missions that sucked, all the times I saw people getting jacked up, I ain't cry. None of us cried about it. We all signed up for it. We knew what could happen. And this is what I tried to convey to the guys. Like, when you get into these situations, just understand what can happen. And if you cool with it, move forward. If you cool with it. I tell guys all the time, man, don't become airborne just because you want jump pay. That's dumb. You know what I mean? That's dumb. And Cody's right, man. That, like the fact that there are laws, there are policies like that show our civilization is in the gutter. It is, bro. Like the Western world, I agree with you there. Like, things need to change, and there's always a pivot, right? There's always a pivot, man. That's just look at Brother Mike. He's like, man, F them kids. There are a lot of dudes who they buy in. This is why we stress over here, man. As a guy, if you get into a relationship, man, make sure you keep your emotions in check until you know that's the woman you want. Keep your emotions in check. It is really easy to fall for or have a soft spot for or love little kids. Men want to protect and provide and provision. And once you accept that, like, these are my kids now, bro, if you let your emotions out, you're going to love those kids like they're your own. And the hardest thing, I've seen so many guys that'll go, 18 years plus in a relationship, raising kids that aren't theirs. And then what happens? What always happens, especially with boys and girls too, the father comes back into the picture some way, shape, or form. And then the kids just bolt to daddy, right? Which is cool. Ain't nobody mad at that. But here you are as a stepdad, and the kids are like telling you to your face, you're not my father. My father's over here. I love my dad. And you're thinking like, man, all the time, money, energy I invested in these kids. You can't get mad at kids when they do that. I mean, that's their biological father, bro. There's a tie there. There's always going to be a tie there. That's why you want to have your own kids. And there are guys out there who will give their whole life to the situation, never have their own kids. Never have their own kids. And, luckily it's like, hey, man, luckily you're a dude. You can go out here and get some young girl pregnant right now. Don't matter what your age is. You could be 61-year-old with a 24-year-old and go out and make you a whole bunch of babies, right? It's different. Men and women are different in that sense. So, but the guys, man, you see so many stories like that. But you also see the stories of people where it worked out. There'll be stories where someone raises someone else's kid, and they do go off to be happily ever after. And, the guy go and legally adopt a child and all that kind of stuff. You see those stories, but that's not common. That's not the norm. You know what I mean? No good deed goes unpunished. I feel you there, bro. We got Scam Likely in the building. What's up, Gusto? You know what I mean? I was never, nah, bro, not me. I would smash, some single moms or whatever, but I never allowed children to be around me. I wasn't that dude. Right. I would, and a lot of women would try, like, man, and I was a savage when I was young, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. I was very selfish. I was a savage, and I kept it 100. So I would tell women, like, nah, again, I'm always running rotations. At least I was back then, not now. I was running rotations back then, and every woman knew what time it was. And if she had a kid, I remember once talking to this girl I knew from school. She had a kid, smashing whatever, and I fell asleep over her place in her bed, whatever. Just, y'all know what it is. Booty call, go over there, gonna do what you're gonna do. And I felt her moving because, if I'm in someone else's home, bro, I ain't really sleeping deep. I got basically one eye open, bro. Especially this was back in the hood. You just had to live like that, man. So I felt her getting up. So right away, I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And then what she did was she got out of bed. She went and got her baby. Her baby was like still like a newborn, not even like, like a toddler. She went and got her baby and put the baby in the bed between it, like was her and then the baby and then me. So I got up, got dressed and left. Like 4 a.m. Just got up, got dressed and left. Didn't say a word. Right? She would call me, man. That's before you could block. So, we had the manual block. Just don't answer the call. Like I never, because we had caller ID or whatever. Never talk to her again if I saw her on the streets. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't doing this. But there's a lot of guys who will just welcome that. Like, oh, we're just a family. And then you'll see them 2 weeks later out holding hands, mom, dad, and the kid and going to the park and all that. I wasn't that guy, bro. I wasn't that guy. I just couldn't do it. We got Brother Nightish in the building. What's good, fam? Definitely a very dangerous game. Good to see you, Brother Nightish, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. I need to get out there and start hitting these panels again. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Maybe I'll see who's up, who's talking. Maybe I'll jump on Black Man, or maybe I'll jump on Raging Tomato or something like that. But yeah, bro, you got to be careful, man. So let's get back to the video, man. I just wanted to pause it before he got into the meat of what he was going to talk about here, this brother. And I just wanted to point out how squared away his home is, bro. And that's always a good sign. You go meet a woman, you go to her place, and her place is clean like that. To me, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm cool talking to her, and then invite her over to your place so she can see that you're living the same way. A lot of dudes don't want to put pictures on the wall. They don't want to go get the, you know what I mean, like the accents and all that kind of stuff, man. The accessories that kind of makes a house a home. Guys, y'all should do that. I'm just saying, y'all should do that. Get your curtains and all that, man. Do that. Anyway, let's keep going.
So when I was 18, I got lost, man. Not just a little. I mean, I was lost in drugs and aimless friends, nights that just bled into mornings. I wasn't living. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I was hiding. Wow. It was escapism is what I was choosing every day. And escapism, it feels like freedom until you realize that the walls are just invisible. I mean, that went on until I was 20, between 20 and 21. That's when it ended. That's when the pain of staying in that life, it finally became greater than the pain it would take to get out of it. And, I made the decision to walk away for good. That's when everything shifted for me. And that's when I stopped surviving and I really started growing. I started the pursuit of growing as a person. And here's the thing is you don't outgrow that life. You walk out of it and you walk alone. And so, I mean, when I finally crawled out of that season of my life, I thought the answer was love, a woman, right? I believed if I just found someone who accepted me, everything broken in me would just disappear. I don't know. I would be complete or something. And of course I was dead wrong. I didn't need a woman to complete me. I needed a mission, and I didn't need that particular type of love. I needed self-respect. I didn't have that. I was asking women to validate a man who hadn't even been built yet.
This kind of goes into that know yourself kind of thing, man. Like, it sounds like this dude didn't know himself. He was like from 18 to 21, he was living a quote unquote, like, I call it the wild life. But for us, that meant something totally different. Like he said he was just out there with his friends kicking it. I was out there with my friends kicking it too, but we were really doing some things. Like we were in the street. So we had the street life. And the difference between the street life and what I think I'm hearing from this dude, the street life was life and death. Like you dealt with a lot of death and destruction, bro. The street life was like being at war. Whereas it sounds like his life, he was just out there being a slacker. You know what I mean? Like probably smoking, whatever, partying, just kind of kicking it, just being a slacker. And I don't know if what he was doing included a lot of women. Because he says once he finished that at 21, he's like, okay, now I'm ready to be a grown up. And what does that mean? I need to go get a woman. It's like, okay, you won't know this game. While we were out there in the streets, bro, we were dealing with all sorts of folks. So we at least kind of knew the game. Like this guy doesn't sound like he knew the game. And Cody, you know what's funny, bro? I got that same lamp, bro, right downstairs in the living room. I got the one, and I got like a Spartan helmet on it. I got like some rocks, and I got like a Buddha, a little Buddha statuette on there, bro. And I bought it as a prop because I knew back then when I bought it, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure where I'm going to set up because when I first started doing this, I'm in my loft. But this was my daughter. This was my daughter's space when I first started doing this. There was like a big TV here, like she, we had it all set up. She, had the Xbox up here. Xbox? Yeah, we had the Xbox up here, and I got a big bean bag. Like this was a space for her. And then she got tired. She didn't want to be up here, so she went to her room. And I just like, oh, I'll just shoot the thing here. But I hear what you're saying. A lot of times, bro. Guys get that because, like you said, it was a woman that bought all that kind of stuff. I feel you, but I got the exact same one, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And if you look at some of my videos, like if I'm sitting in the living room, sitting on the sofa, if you look at some of those videos when I'm just kind of doing a real quick take on something, you can see that lamp in the background, bro. Like I'm sitting there, you can see it because I have the camera angle. Again, I bought it for a prop. Like all of like the whole living room, the way I had it set up, I'm like, well, I can shoot in any one of these corners and it'll be a good shot for what I'm trying to do. But yeah, man, it is what it is. I got that shit. And not that I bring women over here, but the handful of times that I have brought women home, because I stopped doing that. I stopped bringing women to the crib, bro. But when I stopped, when I was bringing women over, they would walk in and it was like, oh man, your place is like a showroom. Like it was, all this stuff, like everything matches. You got stuff on the walls. You got, it was just one of those kind of things. And when you run in a rotation, bro, fam, you got a cool spot like that. Women love that shit, bro. They come in, they get comfortable. You can always tell if a woman's comfortable. She comes in, first thing she does is take off her shoes, curl up on your sofa, bro. She, bro, you 85% there. 85% there. All you got to do now is get her a glass of wine, turn TV on, Netflix. And here come the chill part. Start, carry her to the back and do what you got to do. But I stopped, like I said, I stopped bringing women over. Once my daughter graduates in a couple of years, the plan is to move to Miami. I lived in Miami for years from back in 2009. From 2009 to 2012, I was down there. I love Miami, as you guys know. So as soon as my daughter graduates, that's the plan. I'll be in Miami. And, there are business interests here in Tampa that we're working on. So I'll be going back and forth. My brother's really starting some good stuff right here. So we're building some things. So it's like, yeah, we'll be back and forth from Miami to Tampa. But yeah, bro. And that's one of the things, bro. That's it. I'll see, you got jokes. Like women like it when it looks like other women live there. You got jokes. Women want to be comfortable, bro. If you can get them, if they're comfortable, it's on. The problem with that is it's harder to get them to leave. That's the problem with it. You come in, and especially if your place is better than theirs, bro, they don't want to leave. So I learned that in Miami the hard way. Like you're up in the high rise, place is lit, it's everything. They come over, bro. They want to stay. They start leaving stuff behind. Like I used to always go through my spot and I had a box. I would put stuff in the box that they left and tell them like, yo, you left this, you left that. You know what I mean? Where you at? I would come to them and bring it to them. Like, here's your stuff. One of the girls was like, dang, you don't even let nobody leave nothing behind? Like, nope, I sure don't. So it sounded like this guy was young, didn't quite know himself, didn't know what he wanted to do, and started looking for a woman. Again, I haven't watched this video, but I can see how that can lead you astray. That can get you in some trouble because you don't know what you're dealing with, and you run out here, and the only ideal you're gonna have is the Disney fairy tale. I just give me a woman. All these women are great. I'm gonna get a woman. I'm gonna, pedestalize her, do all this other kind of stuff. Get married, blah blah blah. Work hard, and bro, you just setting yourself up to be cracked in the face. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man, we probably seen each other, man. Cause I used to be at that Johnny Rockets. I went in that Johnny Rockets 2 or 3 times because I like the chocolate malts that they would make at Johnny Rockets or shakes. I would go in to get a chocolate shake, and I was at that bar at Dolphin Malls where we're talking about, guys. I was at that bar. So, bro, I'm telling you, man, we probably saw each other. Like, what's up, bro? For real, man. It's a small world. But anyway, let's continue.
I did not know anything. I had no confidence, no competence, and absolutely no direction. So as you can imagine, every relationship was essentially a mirror of my confusion. And you can't build something stable on top of that. You just can't. If you don't know who you are, I mean, you'll hand that job to whoever gives you attention. And boy, I did. Okay. And what they'll do is they'll just build a version of you that benefits them, not you. It's bad for both parties. Okay. And now at 40, I've realized something very important, that I don't need a woman to love me to feel complete. I don't. Would it be nice to have that? Yeah, absolutely. It would. It would be beautiful to meet a kind woman, live on a farm, and make a bunch of babies and raise them in truth and purpose and protect them from this corrupt world. Yeah, of course, that would be awesome. That's a dream any man with a good heart would have. But by the time you hit my age, here's the thing is you learn to see reality for what it is. Hopefully. You stop living off of ideals and start operating off clarity, off of what's realistic.
And that's the red pill, isn't it? Right? Now that part he said about having children and protect them from the corrupt world, or however he put it, man, you ain't protecting your kids from shit, bro. All you can do is prepare your kids for the world as it is, so when they go out there, they can handle it. They can deal with what's going to come their way. You can't protect them. There's so many people out here, right? And this is partly why our society is so messed up. They go out here and they call themselves protecting their kids. And what do? They hover over them. They solve all their problems, or they bulldoze all the problems out of their way. These kids are kind of Mr. Magooing their way through childhood, and then they wound up out in the real world, and they have no tools to deal with what they're dealing with. It's kind of like going to basic training in the United States Army, or going to boot camp in the United States Marine Corps, and you get there, and the drill sergeants do all the work. You just watch, right? The drill sergeant's on the range. You don't get the weapon. You get to watch the drill sergeant shoot. You don't get to compete, do pugil sticks or hand-to-hand combat. You just watch the drill sergeants do it, right? You don't get to go out there and problem solve, right? You watch the drill sergeants solve problems. Then like, okay, congratulations, you've completed basic training, you've completed boot camp, and then they send you off to war. Bro, you're gonna get slaughtered. Right? You're gonna get slaughtered. So a lot of guys, that's one of the things I tell dudes, like, and women too, like, quit protecting your kids. Let your kids go out there and get their head hit. Let them bump their head a little bit. Let them touch that hot stove, bro. Tell them the stove is hot, but let them touch that hot stove. Let them take some L's and learn. And one of the things was just like yesterday. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. I'm sitting on the sofa. My daughter screams from her room like, Papa, I got scammed. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she comes walking out and she shows me her phone. She was like, look, this is the PayPal scam stuff you were watching on TV. You were talking about on your podcast. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's the pass. She's like, yeah, I even looked up this phone number and it's not the real phone number. I looked it up, and I'm like, yeah, where are these people, that are running this scam? She's like, they're in India. Like, yeah. I'm teaching my daughter what's going on, so when she sees it, she knows what's happening, right? My daughter's going to get scammed by somebody someday. She's going to go out there and somebody's going to talk her out of $10 or $20 or whatever. It's going to happen. And she's going to be like, oh, they got me. But she ain't going to get caught with these big scams. She's not going to give up $50,000. Right? Because she's already looking. She's like, now I know there's people out here trying to take from me. This person may not be who they're pretending to be. So let me do my research. And if it's, like, I'm still not sure, let me talk to my dad real quick. Let me talk to my people real quick about it. That's how I suggest that people raise their kids, instead of just solving the problems and just having them go out there and Mr. Magoo their way into some serious problems. So yeah, this dude didn't know himself. And this dude didn't have any game. When he was out from 18 to 21, just doing whatever, him and his crew, they weren't out here. Doesn't sound like they was out here hollering at nobody. They weren't trying to do nothing. They weren't learning. And then he jumps into like, okay, I'm ready for a woman. I need a woman to define me, to complete me. It's like, bro, you're going to get your face cracked. You know what I mean? Face cracked. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's right. You say he was washing dishes at Johnny Rockets, man. But I tell you, probably would. I'm always looking at folks, man. You got to walk in, walk out, end of the shift, beginning of the shift, whatever. Like I said, bro, just hanging out. Dolphin Mall is a cool spot, bro. And it's probably still cool. You know what I mean? No fathers in the home. That's a big problem. But even the guys, the single dads out there, we still have blind spots. We can't teach our daughters how to be women, but you still, man or woman, doesn't matter. You raising your kids, don't protect them from society. Teach them how society is and give them the tools that they need to succeed.
You realize that fulfillment doesn't come from what you get. It comes from what you build. And you can't be looking for other people to get these things. They have to come from you. I mean, and here's the thing is you also, when you become 40, you get around this age, you start to notice things faster. You see patterns. And sure, like your reflexes, your physical reflexes might not be as sharp as they were at 20. I know mine definitely aren't, but your instincts are way stronger. You don't waste time explaining what your gut already knows. I mean, listening to your gut, you really learn to do that when you get to 40. So even mid 30s. But I mean, that's what experience does. I mean, it trades speed for accuracy, and it trades energy for wisdom, and impulse for emotional intelligence. I mean, that's the quiet power that comes with age. Perspective can't be fate. It just can't. And so, but yeah, I mean, in my 20s, I mean, I think I had a few real friends that I still talk to this day, but for the most part, I didn't have real friends. I mean, there's a handful that I still talk to today that are, really good people that I stay in contact with, even though we're very far apart. But I mean, I had a lot of just fair weather friends, just people who were only around when things were easy, when the night was young, when it was all jokes and no accountability, but the second that life got serious, I mean, they were nowhere to be found. They disappeared. And I think that most people in their 20s really are just selfish and lost. I mean, I'm a millennial, so, I think a lot of millennials can relate with this. I mean, it's just, it's the blind leading the blind. And yeah, every now and then a blind squirrel will find a nut. But yeah, I mean, they're pretending to have things figured out, but they're silently hoping that someone else does, honestly. But I mean, when it comes to friends, I mean, what I've learned is you have to be just very discerning about that. Who you spend time with, it really shapes who you become. What is it? The 5 people that you spend the most time with, or you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah. Like I'm hearing this, and he's a millennial. I'm a Gen Xer, bro. Like Gen X was outside getting hurt. We were getting bumps and bruises, bro. We were getting smacked in the face. Millennials weren't. So the stuff that he's saying, I'm listening to him. I'm like, bro, this is all. Yeah, of course. This is of course. Again, the millennials, man, y'all parents did everything for you. Right? It's one thing to watch someone do something. It's quite another to go out there and do it yourself. And that's the problem. Especially when it comes to dating and relationships and all that. Like, bro, y'all didn't realize how hard it was to have a relationship. When we were in the streets, we were still dealing with women. We're still dealing with young girls doing our thing. We got to see a little bit of female nature. You got to see it. You got to see like, oh, this girl's talking to you on Tuesday, and they come to find out next Thursday she's talking to one of your homeboys, and she know y'all cool. You get to see it. You get to see women lie to you. You get to catch women cheating. They get to catch you cheating. You know what I mean? That's when I learned, like, before I got out of high school, like, I'm always going to tell the truth. I ain't lying. I ain't got time to try to remember what lie I told. Nope. Hey, were you with Kathy? Yep. I can't believe you was with Kathy. But guess what? The girl still be hanging out with you. The girl who questioned you about Kathy, let's say her name is Renee. Renee will still be hanging out with you even though she know you and Kathy doing something. He's like, yeah, I told you the truth, man. We ain't together like that. You know what I mean? You don't like it? Okay, fine, bye. I learned that when I was younger. So once I got a full-grown adult, man, that was just the way I did business. Right? But I took some L's too. Right? I got other, Kathy. I'm out here doing my thing with Kathy, and then Kathy turned around and broke my heart. So millennials wasn't getting that. You know what I mean? Yeah, look at Cody. So Cody, yeah, Cody's like, all my broken bones would disagree. I ain't mad at you, bro. I'm not saying all millennials. I'm just saying the vast majority. And I'm sure you'll agree with me. Most millennials, most people in your era, bro, they ain't out there getting after it. Right? That's one of the things. One of the things I ask dudes, especially in the red pill space. You ever been punched in the mouth? Most of them like, nope. Like, damn, bro, you ain't never been punched in the mouth? Nope. Not until they become way older and now they MMA is a thing. Now they go join a dojo or whatever MMA school. You know what I mean? Yeah, now they done got hit in the mouth. They done got elbowed and slammed on their face. Now they get it. They're like, oh, I get what you mean now. Like, yeah, we was doing that at 8, man. 8, 9 years old out here, mixing it up, getting hit, coming back, scratched up and bleeding all the time. I mean, that's you bleeding because you playing football, playing tackle football on cement. Like, I get up, rub some dirt on it. Scars everywhere. You don't even know you have a scar till you get into the bathtub and you start stinging. Like, oh, look like I cut myself here. But anyway, let's keep going.
Very true. I mean, if you but here's the thing: if you find that one person who is there for you at 3 a.m., who sticks with you through the storms, and you hold on to that person, that is a friendship that's worth nurturing and worth maintaining. And you reciprocate. You be that same man for him. Okay, you be that same friend in return. None of that one-sided stuff. Okay, and I've also learned that you can't be friends with a woman you're attracted to. And I know a lot of men like to say you can't be friends with women, period. I mean, technically you can, but not when attraction's involved. It clouds everything. You can be friends with a woman you're not attracted to, yeah. But yeah, I'd say the most rewarding friendships I've ever had have been with other men. Because, iron sharpens iron, right? Men need other men to build each other up, to correct each other, to strengthen each other. Because without that, I mean, you end up being surrounded by people who, smile when you're weak and vanish when you're tested. Like I said, they're just fair weather friends. They're only with you when it's sunny out. So, but I mean, here's another thing that I've learned: your beliefs, they will evolve. They will. You will not in your when you're 30, when you're 35, and when you're 40, you're going to be 3 different types of people, roughly, because you're going to be introduced to new information. And so it's always important to change your beliefs when you're presented with better information. Of course, information that passes the smell check. But here's the thing: don't get stuck defending an outdated version of yourself just because you once said it out loud, okay? And is discourse important? Of course it is. Of course it is. You don't, but here's the thing: you don't ruin a good friendship because you're not perfectly aligned on every single issue, okay? Choose friends, of course.
All right, like I wanted to run it back. Dude was talking about friendship with women you're attracted to. I agree with him to an extent. Here's the thing, guys: if you're out here, you got some baddie, some fine chick. She wants to be your buddy, right? You just gotta let her know up front, day one. Hey, I think you cute, you fine. So if you want to mess with me, girl, don't trip. Don't come crying on my shoulder one night, because you can get it. Laugh about it, ha ha ha. But let her know, like, nah, girl, I'm attracted to you, so we cool. You just gotta let her know. So many dudes. The problem is these guys, because they don't have confidence and they're afraid that she's gonna say no. They'll just act like they're their friend. They'll sit in the friend zone and then they'll wait. And then that moment will come and then they'll make their move. And then the woman is absolutely appalled by it. And the guy's like, what? I don't understand. Like, bro, she trusted you. You didn't tell her that you were interested in her like that. And then you wait till she's her weakest and you try to get on. Now if she was with it, that's one thing. But most women ain't. They gonna be mad. She don't see you like that, bro. You just like the little buddy. She put you in the friend zone. So I tell guys, like, don't allow yourself to be placed in the friend zone. You know what I mean? Simple as that. And I would argue that the vast majority of men, when you're talking about attractive women, they're gonna want to do something with her if they could, right? You've seen it a million times on social media, Fresh and Fit or whatever platform you might be watching. Like, oh, that's your homie, that's your best friend. Text him right now and say you want to smash, right? And see what he says. And most women will agree, like, yeah, he would. Give him the chance, he would. Like, all right. Like, it is what it is. And I think that relationships have pretty much been the same throughout the existence of our species, bro. I don't think it's changed that much. But I think what has changed is you have people out here who don't worry about consequences because they ain't never been punched in the mouth. You got a lot of dudes out here who be saying stuff and be acting reckless because they've never been held to account. And then they'll get out into the world and meet some people from different bubbles and, get jacked up. You get jacked up. You know what I mean? But this part here, I'm sorry about the delay, so I'm not sure which part you're talking about with dude, but I'm talking about his what he was talking about with friendship. You can, in fact, I encourage people to have female friends, especially attractive ones. You should have them. You should call them associates, whatever. But it's kind of like what Michael Certain talks about with his Men of Action group. Being surrounded by beautiful women help you get access, and you want to have that access. It's way easier to slide into an event when you got 2 or 3 beautiful women with you, as opposed to getting to that event with one of your homies, 2 or 3 of your homies, or by yourself. Right? It's way easier to get in when you got a bunch of women. The stuff that Michael Certain is talking about, pretty much the stuff I did when I was in LA. It's just the way I moved. And he's like, yeah, I didn't have, 50, 60 girls with me like the way he roll up. But I would have 5 or 6 dimes with me, 2 or 3 dimes with me. And then I'm getting in whatever club. The rope opens up for me, no problem. Plus, I've already made those connections with the door guys and managers and stuff like that. But nah, man, it's like you definitely want to have access to a handful of beautiful women, especially if you're trying to network and get into certain events. People are going to come up to you like, who are you? Like, wow, and the women that are with you, bro, they're going to sit there with you. They're not going to be out doing whatever. They're going to be posted up right next to you, which just makes you look like a G. Man, Jarrell's in the building. What's good, fam? Yeah, attracted to versus infatuated with. There you go. And there's a lot of dudes be infatuated with beautiful women. Why? Because they've never been around them. Right. And again, Michael Certain, MOA, like I'm not paid by Michael. I'm just listening to what he's putting out there. And it makes a lot of sense. You put yourself in a situation where you are surrounded by beautiful women, 8, 9s, and 10s, then it wears off. You see that the 8, 9s, and 10s are the same as the 3, 4s, and 5s. I mean, basically, there's no real difference between them. You're all going to go through the same amount of BS. That's why I tell dudes, like, you might as well get what you want, because you think you're going to get this girl who's a 4 and she's not going to give you problems. She's going to give you the same problems that the 7 and 8 and 9 is going to give you, bro. So you might as well get what you're looking for. Right? It's just like, it is what it is. But yeah. So I'm listening to what dude is saying. He's giving some pretty solid advice, but to me, the stuff that he's talking about, we figured out in Gen X way early because we were outside. And I think the younger generation, especially starting with the millennials and all the other ones, you guys were inside way more. And when you did go outside, everything was structured. You guys weren't outside just exploring, doing your thing. We were out there exploring, making bad decisions at, 8, 9, 10 years old, getting chased by the police, you know what I mean? Doing stupid stuff, getting chased by bigger kids, getting ourselves in all sorts of trouble. But we also got ourselves out of the trouble. Whereas millennials go out, everything is structured. Mom and dad's with you. Again, remember, they're bulldozing everything, all the problems out of your way. They're hovering over you. You had no chances to go out there and just learn and, take some L's.
Of course, that will have the same morals, values, and principles. I mean, that is the foundation of any good relationship, friendship, or, relationship with a woman. But after that, I mean, just learn to relax, dude. Just kill the motor, dude. Like, still, like, don't, just turn your wheels. I mean, yeah, you're still going to have differences. You don't have to debate everything. You don't. I made that mistake plenty of times. Sometimes you just have to just sit back and just chill and just let people think differently without taking it as an attack, or just sit. If it's uncomfortable, just let it be uncomfortable. Okay. That's the beauty of life, is that not everyone thinks the exact same way and has the exact same opinion. That would actually be rather boring and bland, don't you think? But I mean, that's a part of growing up, learning that agreement isn't required for respect. Okay. And then also this was throughout my life, teens, 20s, 30s, I tried to fix myself through church in different stages, both in the Protestant realm and the Catholic realm. But I don't know. It wasn't faith that I found. It was performance, just rooms and cathedrals full of people just pretending to be healed and just posturing like they've conquered sin while secretly drowning in it. And yeah, I played along. I tried to speak the language and wear the smile and raise my hands in the Protestant realm. When I was Catholic, I was in Latin Mass. There's no hand raising. That's a whole other topic for another day, but I'm no longer a Christian for many reasons. You can watch my other content to have a better understanding of that. I'm not going to get into that right now. That's kind of a side issue, but it wasn't real, and I can't function around inauthenticity. It makes my skin crawl. That whole, it's like being it's that feeling of claustrophobia, I guess. That whole environment, both in the Protestant and the Catholic realm, it just taught me that, it was just theater, honestly. And I just didn't think that any of it really aligned with the full truth. And if you're wired for the truth, for the full truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, you'll always feel like a square peg in a round hole when you're surrounded by people pretending to be whole.
Yeah, man. Religion is flawed. Why is religion flawed? Because of people. Simple as that. Religion is flawed because of people. It's not the word. Right? Like when I talk about this, I'm like, look, I don't have a problem with religion. The concept is amazing, but people are flawed and they control the religion. So it's going to be tainted. Simple as that. I remember, I don't know how old I was. I think I was a young adult when someone told me about the slave Bible. I'm like, what are you talking about, slave Bible? And then we looked at it and I'm like, wow. And from that point on, I was like, yeah, all this is tainted. I was 16 years old and I'm like, man, all this is tainted. And that's when I began to think about it. 'Cause I never really thought about religion. I was forced to be there. Never really thought about it. And I would sit there, like you said, you see the people jumping up and raising their hand and going crazy and dancing, like, and getting excited over the music and all that, but didn't really like the word, like the actual, people didn't like being told that they were living in sin. They wanted to just, well, I'm going to be forgiven, so it's cool. And then as I got older, as a young adult, I'm out in the club and I would see these girls who be in church on Sunday, but Friday and Saturday, man, they out here doing things. Right. And then you get into church and you see the hierarchy and then you start seeing all the corruption. You start seeing people who are poor, they can barely afford to feed themselves and feed their families, but they're taking money they don't have to give it to the church, i.e. give it to the leader of the church, the preacher or the priest or whoever. And that guy's riding around in a nice car with gold cufflinks and tailor-made suits. I'm like, this is a hustle. Right? This is a hustle. And it's not, I'm not knocking religion. I'm just knocking the people who corrupt religion. You don't need a church. You look back on, if you're a Christian, you follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Jesus was never in a church. The only time he went into the temple was when he went in there to confront the people who were, corrupting, his Father's word. He was going in there throwing out the money changers. He was going in telling the elders of the church, the synagogue, that they were wrong. But when he was out there saving souls, he was walking around with prostitutes and cutthroats and, the fringes of society. He's out there telling them there's a place for you and this and that. He wasn't in the church. Jesus didn't have a mega church. It's like, what would Jesus do? Jesus would tear down the mega church. That's what he would do. There are people out here now, man, they have churches that are the size of stadiums, bro. There are people out here that have billions of dollars, coming through their organization, tax-free money. If y'all can't see that that's a play, I don't know what to tell you, right? But I'm not knocking religion, right? I have the Bible right behind me. There it is. Look, King James Bible right down there, right there. And I got one of those Bibles that's translated into everyday text downstairs. And that's sitting right next to the Torah, which is right next to the Quran. I read all the religious texts. Man, I don't need someone to tell me how to live, to tell me what to do, and then turn around and tell me you owe me some money. Like, you better send me, someone went viral here recently. One of the black preachers scolded one of the women in his congregation because she gave him $1,200 to the church and not $2,500 or whatever. And dude going off on her. I can't be around that. And Cody's right. You are the temple. You are the temple. You are God's vessel. That's a fact. 100% fact. That's a Don DeMarco right there, bro. If I ever heard one. Cody on it.
Don DeMarco.
You don't have to go to the church, but people want that. You know, folks, look at the red pill space, man. I'm not comparing it to church. I'm just, just look at the red pill space. I just want to show human nature. There are people who are giving out this information, like this brother we watching right here, who was just saying, "Hey, man, this is what I've encountered in my life. Listen to this, and try to avoid the mistakes that I made." Right. And then you have people in the red pill space who come out and make a lot of noise, look good, say, "I got all this money, I'm rich, and you're broke, and you should be. And, if you want to be like me, send me this money. I'm having this event. It costs this much money. If you can't pay this, or like if I do an event and I charge X for it, and someone in the chat is like, you charge too much money." Right. There are people who will be like, "Man, I'm going to charge even more money now so I can keep brokies like you away." People want to be around the cool kids, whether you're talking religion, whether you were talking like this red pill manosphere thing, whether you're talking about Hollywood, whether you're talking about even the nerds and the geeks, bro. They go to Comic-Con, they do their thing, man. There's a hierarchy, man. Like humans want that hierarchy, and they got to be around the cool kids. That's the play. You got to be able to think on your own and just know how to move. Like, it's cool. You all right? What's up, bro? I see you. Nah, I'm not doing all that. People come up to me, and you get to a point where they know they can't hustle you. No one can hustle you. There's not a religious person on this planet that can hustle me. You know what I mean? There's not a person really on this planet that's going to hustle me. I'm going to do what I want to do. It has to make sense to me. I'm going to invest accordingly. So, I mean, it is what it is. Scam like bimbos are guys like, nah, man, these guys are broken. Like I said, the thing about the church, and I'm not really mad at the church, and the same thing about this red pill space. You can't go into a hospital and get mad that there are sick people in there, bro. Right? You can't go into a hospital and get mad. Like, I can't believe all these sick people are in this building. Like, that's what this building is for. And you also got to know that you're not going to be able to help them all. Right? You go into the hospital, man, everybody don't come out. Right? You can't help them all, but you help those who help themselves. And that's the tack that I take. That's what I'm doing. Like, all right, we're going to do it this way. This is what I'm doing. I might align with, like, hey, Myron said this. Okay, I can get with Myron on that. But then when Myron says other things like, nah, I don't deal with that. Tate says this, or Rich Cooper says that. It's cool. Take what works for you. Take that, right? That's the meat. And then the stuff that doesn't work for you, leave that behind. That's the bones. Don't need those bones. I'm gonna take this sustenance. This is what's going to help me. And I'm going to leave the rest behind. You know what I mean? And I thought this video, because I didn't watch this video. I thought this guy was going to come with some real, this is what happened to me and blah, blah. And that doesn't seem to be the case, but it's just still a pretty good video to watch. It's still a pretty good video to watch. You know what I mean? So let's keep going.
So, but yeah. But anyway, so when I was at 29, I became a father. Okay. And that's what changed everything. You realize just how selfish you've been your entire life the moment that you become a parent. You realize.
Yes, the religion, the hospital thing. That's why I came up with the analogy, Scam, was for churches at first. Red pill came second, but that's where it came up from. That's 100%. The hospital analogy 100% goes for religion. It started there, and then I applied it to everything else.
Realize how weak you were, and you discover a kind of love that doesn't exist anywhere else. I mean, my situation wasn't simple. It still isn't. The family court system became my battlefield. It still is to this day, and it will break a man who doesn't know who he is. It's a machine with teeth that doesn't care about your heart. It tests your endurance, your patience, your sanity. But here's the thing: it forced me to grow, and it still forces me to grow. It forces me to become more strategic and more resilient and more disciplined. Because when your child is on the other side of that wall, you either evolve or collapse. So my 30s were a forge. Every loss, every betrayal, every sleepless night in that system, all of it stripped away who I thought I was. That decade from 30 to now, it taught me that struggle isn't punishment, it's refinement. You don't grow from comfort. You just don't. You grow from confrontation, from friction. And when you finally stop asking why me and start asking what now, you become dangerous, and not to others, but to the weakness that used to run your life. So, but yeah, now at 40, I know who I am and why I'm here. The noise doesn't move me anymore. The flattery, the gossip, the fake alliances, all of it rolls off because I finally built myself on something solid. Truth, the pursuit of it, the defense of it. And
You see why I'm always talking about know yourself, know your enemy, but like it's truly know yourself. That's coming from Sun Tzu. I think the difference between Gen Xers and millennials is the Gen Xers discovered who they were earlier. Again, for all the reasons I stated, we were outside, we were on our own, we were away from the grownups. We had to figure out who we were. We were out there just doing stuff. So you got to decide early, like, all right, am I going to be a criminal? Because I was in the sandbox with criminals, right? But I was also in the sandbox with, like really good, solid people, like, the future leaders of our society. We were all in the sandbox together. And at some point we had to make a determination. I can't tell you how many times I had to say no to some criminal act. I like, nah, I'm not doing that. And it's a brother Michael Lee's point was valid because I had a father that was in my life. May not have been with me, every night because, we lived in separate homes, but my father had an influence on me and I knew the difference between right and wrong. And when I was young, I didn't want to do things that were wrong because I knew I was going to get beat. I didn't want to get a whooping. But as I grew up, I realized like, now I get it because I had some friends that went and did those things. They went down that path and most of them, I'm going to say all of them been locked up at some point. Some of them are still locked up now. A few of them are dead because they chose that road. I'm like, nah, I don't want to go down. I'll mess around down there a little bit, but I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to go down this road. Y'all go ahead and do that. And that we were outside. Like whoopings are done, like, bro. Man, I needed that. I haven't even been watching the World Series, man. I would say flip a coin, bro. Maybe LA. You know what I mean? Because I hate to see, because it's Toronto and LA, right? So I want to see the World Series, the champion come out of America. So maybe LA. What is it? Game 3 now? Game 4? No. Game 5. It's game 5 now, right? Coming up. So I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win that. Be honest with you, bro. Yeah, like I said, I'm a roll with the Dodgers because I was in LA for a minute. And the Reds aren't in it. If the Cincinnati Reds were in it, I'd be like 100% all about the big red machine, but we ain't in it. So I'll go with the Dodgers. I ain't hating on Canada. Like Cody, my people, I ain't hating on Canada. But if Canada wins, it's like they get, they win the World Series and then, they can talk big shit to America. I'm like, let's keep it here. Let's keep it here. I haven't been watching any of the World Series, though. I'm going to have to check it out.
I'll die on that hill if I have to, because my son is watching. He's learning what a man looks like by how I carry myself when it's hard, not when it's easy. If I have to.
Hey, yo, if the Jays win, Cody going to be talking big shit. I'm here to tell you right now. He's probably not even a baseball guy, but, just any opportunity to talk crazy.
Be uncomfortable for his sake and for the sake of what's right, that I'm fine living there. Comfort never made a man worth remembering. Here's the thing. In my 20s, I tried to impress people. Eventually, you'd stop caring about that.
It's a fact.
Who cares what other people think, okay?
Fact.
You don't need to impress other people, okay? Don't go that route, okay? And I know I promised that this would be 10 minutes. It's now about 15. So here's the thing. I am 40, and I am finally grateful for the pain.
There it is.
It shaped me into a man that I respect and can look in the mirror. I can go to sleep at night.
You need that.
So you can learn from your scars or you can repeat them. That's your choice. It took me 20 years to learn all of this. and you just got it in 15.
Bro, shout out to dude. You know what I mean? He ain't lying. Remember, we talk about that over here, bro. As a man, you got to feel that pain, bro. You got to feel that pain. Whenever I go to the hospital for something, they're always like, how much pain are you in? Scale of 1 to 10. How much pain do you want something? Like, nah, I'm all right. I'm always in pain. I always tell the doctors, like, bro, I'm always in pain. The nurses say, you're in pain? Of course I'm in pain. I'm always in pain. You want something for it? No. For me, like, dude, first of all, if I'm in pain, I know I'm alive, bro. If I wake up one morning and I'm not in any pain, first thing I'm going to do is look back at the bed because I'm probably still laying there. Like, bro, I'm about to go find that little white boy and, you know, get him to do something for me. You know what I'm talking about? The one that I see dead people. Bro, if I wake up with no pain, man, something's wrong. Every day I'm in pain. Whenever I get up, something hurts. You know what I mean? And I'm cool with that. Cool with that, bro. I did not lead an easy life. Right? I did things. I got out there. I got after it. And that's something that I guess millennials they just don't know, man. The part about, you know, I don't care what people think. I learned that very young in life. I learned that, man. I don't care what these people think. Man, these people don't know me. I don't care what these people think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what these people think, man. They don't know me. You know what I mean? So that's a lesson that we learned early on. I'm telling you, man, I think sending kids outside and letting them roam free, I think that'll solve a lot of problems for these upcoming generations. But we live in a society now where, you know, like if you send your 8-year-old kid down to the playground that's a block away, 2 blocks away to go play, and then they come back, man, the police going to be knocking on your door. Talking about, oh, we saw your kid unaccompanied going down to the playground. Like, yeah, and? Well, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do that? Well, your neighbors are wondering, like, man, listen. That's just something that people, you know, that people are so adverse to pain in America. Like, I think that's part of the problem. You look at what's going on with this fent. You look what's going on with the hayride. You look what's going on with the, you know, people self-medicating. We got zombies now. They're on the tranquilizers and all that, trying to avoid pain. Right? Never mind the fact that the government lets the stuff in the country, but that's a whole other topic for another day. You know what I mean? But bro, it's crazy, man. It's that pain. And Brother Michael, you're right, man. It's father's job to keep his daughter off the pole. I said that to a woman the other day, man, and she looked at me. This was on the Spoken and Smoke podcast. I can't wait till we release that episode. I made that comment. She gave me a look, and I'm thinking that little shorty might have been a dancer at some point. Like, you know, like she I think she was on a pole at some point, but she wound up manager and, you know, business person. She's doing great now. But when I said that, I'm like, yeah, it's a father's job to keep his daughter off the pole and the son's out of prison. And that's Chris Rock talked about that. Shout out to Chris Rock. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. You know, yeah, man. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know, Brother Michael's a big old baseball fan. I feel like I love baseball. Like I can't remember the last time I've been to a game. I can't remember the last time I went to a ball game, bro. In Cincinnati, we used to go every year. So, but that first video I thought would be a little more heated. Dude's not raging out, but you could tell dude probably went through that. Like, you know, he didn't talk about relationships that much. He did touch on it. This next video, bro, Dapper Dev, we're going to watch a video real quick. And he's like, most self-respecting men will be single for the rest of their lives. I think this is closer to the rage part of the red pill. But here's the thing. We understand where these guys are coming from, and it makes sense. Like, if you're dealing in a society where it doesn't benefit you as an individual to do the thing, whatever the thing is, and we're talking about relationships and marriage, it does not benefit men today to get married and have kids. You have to take so many steps to protect yourself. And it's really difficult. Now, if that's what you want to do, fine. And I'm not saying don't be with women, but like the marriage thing, like, why would you do that? And that's one of the number one things in the manosphere and the red pill world is like, why would you get married? And if you do get married, like James Sexton says, you better get a prenup. You better get a prenup because you know there's a better than 50% chance that this marriage is going to fail. Marriage in America is a defective product, and it's a product. People are buying it. It's costing big money. It's a product, and it's defective. If you had a business where you were selling some sort of service or product that failed more than 50% of the time, society would shut you down. No one would buy your product. And if they did, I mean, you'll go out of business because you'll get sued into oblivion. Right? That's why we got lemon laws. A lot of y'all don't remember, but back in the day, bro, there was no real laws on selling used cars. Man, they would sell you cars that didn't work. They would sell you cars that didn't have a transmission. They would sell you a car that didn't have an engine. They would have it to where the car would work just long enough for you to get it home, maybe like 2 or 3 days, and then it would break down. And people couldn't do nothing about it. Hey, man, you bought it like you got it, whatever. And there was no warranties back then. It got so bad that the society, the government, had to step in. Like, now you can't sell lemons. Now you had to have a lemon law. Can't do that no more. Can't do that. And it changed the whole industry. And marriage is a lemon. When it works for less than half of the people. And then and it's funny too, because when you get into it, it's like, well, 50% of marriages, more than 50% of marriages end in divorce. Of the other 50%, you know what I mean? Maybe maybe a third of those are successful. When you get into it, you feel me? It's like, bro, this shit don't work. And it costs you tons of money. And it's an easy fix. It's an easy fix. And society's dragging their feet to fix it. Why? Because it benefits women. And people get mad. See, there you go, you red pill raging. Like, I ain't raging. It benefits women. They're not going to change it. But now it's not benefiting women. Women are having to pay. And you're going to continue to see that they're going to change the way it's done. So let me pull up Brother Dev's video. All right. Most self-respecting men will be single for the rest of their lives, bro. We definitely got to talk about this. And I get where he's coming from. I haven't seen this video, haven't heard anything, but we're going to get into this, man. And then we're going to wrap it up. But bro, I tell folks all the time, bro, like, understand the game. Just understand the game. It may not be worth it for you to do it, or get your game up, get your skills up to where you can talk to women who have more than you. Like, that's the thing right now, bro. If you can get a woman who has more than you, and these women are looking, there are women out there who are successful, fine, fit, got all that, making big money. Get to a point where you can holler at one of them. Right now, she ain't gonna want to marry you. She'll keep you around, and if she does marry you, you ain't gotta worry about it going sideways. When she finally does divorce you, because 70 to 80% of women file for divorce. Once she decides to file for divorce, you ain't lose nothing. And if you wanted to be evil with it, you wanted to be a devil. I ain't gonna say evil. But if you wanted to, bro, you getting paid from that divorce. You're going to get half of stuff. You know what I mean? You're going to, it is what it is. If she's making $300,000 a year, you're making 80. When she gets divorced, bro, she's paying for both lawyers, right? There's going to be some alimony. She's going to have to pay you. If there's kids involved, she's going to have to pay you child support. She's going to have to provide a place for the kids, which she's going to lose one of her homes. Like I said, she's gonna lose her Hermes collection. You can take her Birkin collection. Like, I want your Birkins, right? Especially if there's no prenup involved. So this is where we headed, bro. This is where we headed. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we headed. Let's get into it. Let's check this out.
Subscriber, 31 years old. I'm not going to say his name because I asked him if I could use his name, but he hasn't responded yet, so let's just not do it. The one you messaged me saying, I'm afraid I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. I want to dive into that a little bit because this is going to be, if it's not already, this is going to be the reality for a lot of men, especially ones that are willing to or want to step back, assess the behavior of the majority of people, but specifically women in our society, especially for those men that want to assess it and say, I have a standard I need met before I'm going to commit to this person. There's multiple factors to this problem. Obviously, I talk about it. Many people talk about it. But the sad reality is Most of the things that create this the most are not in your control, and that's the worst part. People always talk about like, looking good, and that all matters. It matters a lot, but what does it matter if you're the top 1% Chad or whatever term you want to throw around? What does it matter if you are that top 1% guy and all you have to choose from are trash? And I'm so just like, bleh. I'm so exhausted with trying to argue with all the messages I get and comments I get from people, women and men alike, that just don't like content like mine or other people that make content like this. And all it is they do not like the idea of men reminding other men, shedding light on this for other men to see. They want this toxicity to run amok. How dare you call it out? And let me say this too.
Hey, Scam, is he talking to you? Is he talking to you, Scam? 95% of the red pill is dust. I don't agree with that. I think the information is great. Is there some garbage out there? Yeah. Yeah, there's some garbage out there. But, this dude right here is right. It's like, hell, man, you got so many people to fight, and you want to stop this type of message from being out there, to the point where I believe that YouTube restricts the content. It's like, why? What's so dangerous about this? What's so dangerous? You got Casual Germ in the building. What's good, fam? Like, I used to be worried about being single in my 20s. Now I'm 40. I don't care anymore. I don't know what happened. I mean, you see that you're not really missing out on anything, bro. I mean, 40 years old, you got yourself together. You're living a good life, man. You cool. Your passport is working. You're a worldly guy. You've seen the world. You know what it is. And if you want to get you a young lady to come over and entertain you for the evening, you can. If you want to go out and you want company and you want to have some, beautiful young woman on the other side of the table, you can. You can do that. It's not a big thing. But what Dev is talking about here is like, it's like, you talking about tying a knot with somebody. It's like, bro, be careful. See, he's saying the same stuff that I'm saying. His message might come off a little more harsh than mine, but the message is the same and it's valid. You know what I mean? And I'm with Cody on that, bro. I don't really see myself getting married. Kind of like what Brother Michael Lee was saying. If I do get married, bro, I'm just going to have a ceremony somewhere. We're not signing any papers. Right? I'm not getting legally married to any government. And if you were a woman who's really into you, she's cool with that, bro. I'm here to tell you, man, you get the right woman. She doesn't care about that. She just wants you. She doesn't care about the papers. She doesn't care. Now, if you want to get married and involve the government, again, marry a woman who has way more than you. And go ahead. Yeah, baby, I'll sign anything you want. You got way more than me. I don't care. You know what I mean? And then if she decides she doesn't want to do it anymore, she wants to walk away, she wants to get divorced, she gets divorced, you ain't losing jack. You're not even gonna have to pay for the lawyer because she's making all the money. And then you want to structure your finances a certain way to where even if you do make a mistake, they can't touch you. Right? You got guys out here like you want to structure in the, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, these guys are some of the wealthiest people on the planet. But when you look at their personal income, their individual income, they ain't making that much money, compared to their wealth. Like you want to be able to structure it to where you can't be devastated. Right? So let's keep going.
Let me say this too. I know full well from looking at my analytics, Lord Google, all hail Lord Google. They do not like these videos. These videos don't get the impressions other videos get. I've read my analytics. I've looked at it. These videos are not promoted. Sometimes when I make videos talk about this stuff, they will break out and get great views. Thankfully, maybe it's just enough people like the video and stick around. Maybe you guys share them a lot. I don't know. But some of them will break through. But if I look at the analytics, they do not get, they don't get the exposure that other videos get.
Facts.
I'm still going to make them. I don't care. These need to be said. These videos like this are as important, if not more important than anything I talk about. Because we have a society full of men that have been brainwashed into thinking that they aren't good enough. They've been brainwashed into thinking that, in this dating market, in the online world, They just fall short in every way. They're not good enough. And every woman you see is a baddie that's a drop dead 10 made of solid gold. You should be paying to even look at them in public. And that rhetoric is just like, it's so played out and corny. It's just so lame. It's so lame, and it's not helping anybody. I've said this.
It's destroyed the market as a whole. Like, what he's talking about is real. People look at this and I'm like, look, he's red pill raging. He's not red pill raging. And like, you just get frustrated. You dealing with this stuff. And listening to what he just said, I'm like, all right, because for a moment there, I'm like, man, is it me? Maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe I'm just mad because I don't get any views. He's saying the same thing. Like, bro, this content don't get pushed. It's like some videos break through, which is true. Some do break through. Like, I got a couple videos out there with, a few thousand views, but it's like something is holding us back. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. With what I'm reading in print media, mainstream media, this is the topic of the moment right now. Like dating, the incel thing, the loneliness epidemic on both sides. This is what mainstream media is talking about. Were it not for the White House and Trump administration just doing all kind of wildness, this will probably be even higher. But there's no boring news days. It's always something going on. Like you look, woke up today and it's like, oh, the Israelis just attacked the Palestinians. Like, oh, what happened to the truce? I think they just killed 100 plus Palestinians or whatever. It's like, wow, or Hamas members or something. So I'm like, oh, okay. Right. I mean, then, it's just so much going on, bro. Like but for secondary stories, the loneliness epidemic, the dating marketplace, that's being talked about. People are talking about this and it's stuff, Scam was talking about, oh, this is why women are turning feminist, man. You gotta understand, man. I think the default setting for women these days is feminism. Like young girls are being programmed at a very young age to do these things. It's a feminist mindset. It has nothing to do with the red pill. It's just now that men are simply not dealing with it in the way we dealt with it before. Men would tolerate it, do whatever, but guys are like, I'm not taking women out. Like, how many dudes would still be taking women out on expensive first dates were it not for this technology and this message being sent out there? Think about that for a minute. I can't tell you how many dudes I talked to was like, yeah, bro, I would always just try to take her out to a real nice restaurant, spend a lot of money, and then she ghosts me or whatever, or she ain't even talking to me. She's taking pictures, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, why do you keep doing that? Why don't you just take her out for a salad? Why don't you just take her out for ice cream? Why don't you take her out for coffee or tea? Like, well, she won't go. Like, then she ain't into you, homie. This content is changing the way dudes are dealing with today's woman. And I would just say that most of them are brought up to be feminists. Cody is like, so sad though, DL. The union between man and woman is supposed to be combined two halves to make a whole, complete the circle. It's a contract mean to ensure reliability, loyalty, but it's devolved to social status and money. That's the fact, bro. And again, young men and women aren't seeing, marriages that work. Here's the thing. There are still successful stories out there. Like I said, now the argument is like the man's the prize, the woman's the prize. My thing is you don't become the prize until you find that right person. You guys come together and complete the circle, so to speak. What Cody is just saying. Once you complete the circle, then you both are the prize. You are equally valuable because it's so hard to get. It's even harder now. So that's one of the things I'm like, I'm not trying to scare dudes off. Like, I'm not saying don't give it a try. I'm just saying make sure you get the right one. You get the correct woman, bro. You get the right woman. Man, she will 1,000x your life, bro. It changes everything. It's not even about money and material things. It's just the fact that she's going to keep you going and you guys are going to be able to accomplish whatever it is you guys to set out to accomplish. She's going to be right there with you, protecting your six, covering your blind spots while you're out there on the front, like on the point, making things happen. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. And it's 100% possible. You just have to find the right women, to involve yourself with. Well, in this case, the right woman. You don't want to do that with a bunch of women. Do that with the right woman. It's possible, but you got to know what you're doing. And there are a lot of women out here who they're just not worth it, man. There's so many young women out here that simply aren't worth it. And you got to learn how to avoid them. Simple as that. I'm not saying don't have fun with them, But don't get caught up like what Cody was saying a few chats below, a few comments before. Like don't get yourself in a situation where you're with the wrong woman. God forbid you have a baby with the wrong woman, bro. You're done. I've done that. I'm here to tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. Society will absolutely punish you. Hey, you're not going to get any points for being a good guy. Society will hurt you. Society will deal with a woman that the courts know is a bad person, and they're still going to land on her side and basically punish you. 18 years, bro. 18 years. Do the numbers. Right? Do the number. I wish Brother Pitney was in the chat. We can ask him to run the numbers real quick. But if anybody got their calculator open, do the numbers. I think the average child support payment in America is $600 a month. $600 a month times 18 years. How much is that? And that's like the median, right? When you start to get with guys who are the higher earners, the median is probably somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 a month, right? I'm on track to basically spend over $500,000 paid out over 18 years. Jesus, bro, you get 30 years to buy a house, and that is a house in today's market, bro. I'm paying out $500,000. And that's supposed to go to my child. It's not going to my child. We all know where that money's going. More to the point, we know where it's not going. And this is the red pill message. This is why dudes come into this red pill rage phase. It's like, damn, I really screwed this up. Right? So, I mean, it is what it is. And Cody's right. A lot of women are beginning to reject the feminist movement, the feminist message. Why? Because dudes are backing away. The guys that they want ain't dealing with them. You got dudes now who refuse to be in the friend zone. Good for them. Right? Good for them. Because you don't want to be in the friend zone. You don't want to be in the friend zone. Put her in your friend zone. And again, it's not saying that he's the prize versus she's the prize. No, you don't become the prize. Neither one, man or woman, does not become the prize until they come together and form that circle. Form Voltron. I like what Cody was saying. Form the circle. That's when you become the prize, both of you together. And guess what? When you divorce, now you're no longer a prize. Once you know what I'm saying? Once you break that circle, now you're back to being a mere mortal. You want to be a superhero, bro? Find the right woman. Can it be done? Absolutely. Right? People say, ain't no good women in America. They're here. They're just harder to find. Right? And even with the technology, young kids today, they're regulating their time, their screen time. They're coming off of social media. If you guys notice this, this is beginning to happen. They're coming, pulling back because they realize this shit is not good for them. They get caught up in these algorithm bubbles. Should I say algorithmic bubbles? Look at me trying to use big words. I don't even know what I'm doing. But they get caught up in these bubbles, bro, and they realize they're being sucked into an echo chamber, and the algorithm is feeding them stuff that's making them mad and and they're starting to realize, and they're backing up. They're like, I'm seeing more and more younger people like, yeah, I'm not on social media. I'm like, you mean you're not on social media anymore? Like, yeah, anymore. I had to get off. It was ruining my life. It was it was just it's brain rot. I can't do it. And they're reading more books. That's why I'm working on a book right now. They're reading more books. They're reading more, like they're on Kindle, and they're listening, and they're challenging themselves. You know what I mean? And they're, most importantly, though, they're staying out of those bubbles, bro. They're staying out of those bubbles. You know what I mean? And Scam, you got a point. Most of these dudes can't even attract the bimbos. Can't afford them. And if they could, they would spend it all. That is a fact, bro. But that is changing. The simpletons of the world, bro, it's changing. These dudes, you're always going to have the guys out here who's just going to grab their wallet and spend because they only want one thing. They just trying to smash. I ain't mad at them. Do you? And you got these women out here, regular women, who will be more than happy to enter into a transactional agreement with said dude. But the guys are out here trying to find the one. They're trying to get into a relationship with a woman. These guys, they're not doing anymore, man. That's because of the RP message. Society is shifting. Guys are waking up. Guys are waking up, bro. You know what I mean? They're waking up. And then once they have the synthetic woman hit the market, bro, I'm telling you, when a dude can just order his dream girl and, it's going to be a like an Android couple, powered by AI. Oh, bro, I don't know what society is going to look like after that.
Before, I've seen people like Alex Eubank. He's a popular YouTuber, like a fitness guy that I use this example because I'm blown away that I see this. I've seen Alex Eubank post photos in the gym or videos in the gym. I've seen other people post stuff about him on pages. And the comments are all these like young, hot girls and young men in the fitness world that are just calling Alex Eubank mid, below average. And I don't know if they're just trolling, but I don't think people understand what average means or what mid means. If you take 100 or 1,000 men of any walk of life, you think Alex Eubank is the 50% mark? You think that look, that physique is average? We're just lost, man. Like we've lost the plot. And I got men of all ages messaging me every single day, emailing me every single day, talking about how lonely they are and how when it comes to like a real fulfilling relationship with somebody worth building a family with, they can't find it.
Yeah. They're out there though. You gotta keep looking. Cody, man, you just scared me, bro. You just scared me, man. Build a biatch. Coming soon. This is the part that scares me. Gonna fast grow them from incubators, bro. Stem cell research, cloning. I think Cody's right. So you're not even gonna have an android, a cyborg. You're gonna have real life flesh and bone that was grown, and the brain is gonna be powered by artificial intelligence. Oh, bro.
Houston, we have a problem.
Bro. It just sank in, Cody. It just sank in. For whatever reason, I missed it a year ago when you said it. It just sank in, bro. I can see that. I was thinking it was going to be android, synthetic. Nah, but what Cody's talking about, man, what Cody's talking about is they're going to grow the body. It's going to be an organic body with no brain. The brain is going to be AI. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness, bro. I'm not kidding either. I'm scared now. I don't get afraid of much, but that right there, I can see that happening. Damn. Hey, we're going to talk about this. We're going to do a tinfoil hat episode, man. We're going to do a tinfoil hat episode, bro. That's going to be the topic. Get the tinfoil hat on there. That's going to be the topic, bro. That's going to be one of the topics. We're going to do 2 or 3 topics on it. We're going to, man, if that happens, man, wow. It's like red pillers are the biggest simps. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes in the red pill, man. Like you look at Fresh and Fit when they do the after hours. You look at Access Vegas and you look at whatever podcast, right? You got those dudes going there just so they can see the women and send the contents, and they see, and they can send their comments and super chats and all that, and then they'll run over to the woman's OF page and all that. Yeah, but I would argue that number is dwindling. There are less and less dudes doing that, bro, because they start listening to the content and they see like, oh wait, oh wait. But you're always gonna have simpletons out there, bro. You're always gonna have simpletons out there. Cody is saying real brains. So we're gonna do hey Cody, we're gonna do a show on this, man. We're gonna do a show on what you're talking about. I don't think it's gonna be real brains. I think they're gonna be AI driven brains. But we'll do a show on it. And I guess, yeah, they're already cloning. You know what I mean? But let's listen to the rest of this.
They can't find it. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Most men, the vast majority of you that are in relationships or that are hopefully going to get one if you want one, you will be with someone that you probably shouldn't be with. You can at least argue you shouldn't be with. The majority of men today are with women that are saying and doing or have said and done things that are, inexcusable, reprehensible, beyond, just a cute joke or beyond just innocent, innocent crush of a celebrity. Like, no. And I've said this before. I've read studies. I cannot verify the studies, but I've read studies that look really legit to me that show numbers of like 40 to 80% They're saying 40 to 80% of men that if they were to ask their girl to randomly go through her phone at any given time, randomly, they will find something that causes a breakup. And when you say that, people, what do they say? Oh, you're insecure. Oh, you're control. It's just this gaslighting, this whipping. Stop pointing this out. Stop shedding light on this. Silence. Stop talking about this. Silence. Get in line, little boy. Good little whipping boy. The girl boss is the leader. The girl boss gets to do what she wants. You're just lucky to have her in your life. You're lucky she's even talking to you. And we have a society full of men that buy that. And I love women. I love you guys. I'm still nice to women as long as they deserve that. I wish nothing but the best for everybody. You know, I wish nothing but the best. I want you all happy, but at my age and with my life experience and the amount of time I've put into trying to learn about this stuff and research this stuff and the things you guys send me and the women I talk to, it doesn't end well for you either. It does not end well. And there's this big push on social media, like the male loneliness epidemic. And they always push that with this angle of men that are ugly and not good enough. And that's why I harp forever. That's why I say these shallow, petty things where I poke fun at women a lot of times, because I want to make it very clear and remind them and the men out there that very few women are like hotties, like everyone says. Very few women are out of the majority of men's league. I'm tired of people pushing that propaganda because it's nonsense. I'm getting tired of seeing that. I'm tired of seeing women that are overweight being told they're baddies. They're not.
Hey, bro, 70 to 75% of Americans are either overweight or obese, right? 75%, which means only 1 in 4 Americans are what we would consider fit. 1 in 4 Americans are not overweight or obese, right? The majority of that number, like when you talk about men and women, more women are overweight and out of shape and obese than men. The average woman weighs more in America than the average man. Right? The median weight of the woman is higher than the median weight of a man. Right? Everything he's talking about is right. Right? He's talking about, in the body positivity thing, and you have over here we do that the scale, hotness scale, 0 to 10. Right? And I'm pretty sure if Brother Dev heard this, he would agree. I'm pretty sure y'all agree, because if y'all have told me if you didn't. But the average, like the median for that on that scale is 0 to 10. 4 to 6. That's where the vast majority, that's 80% of people. And this isn't proven, by the way, guys. It's just me making this up. This is my take on it. 80% of America, 80% of people fit in that, on that scale, especially in America, from 4 to 6. 1 step below the median, 1 step above the median, and the median, of course. So the median is 5. They got 5 slots below it, 5 slots above it. Right? In the vast majority, like these women, every time I go out, I get approached by big girls, man. And either like they'll try to put themselves in my orbit. I literally will walk to the other side of the bar because people like, oh man, you just being mean. I'm like, nah, man, if attractive women see unattractive women around you, they're not going to come talk to you. And the women are walking in there, they don't know that the women talking to you aren't with you. So I tell dudes all the time, like, bro, if you out, you kicking it, you out here in these trenches, and a bunch of unattractive big girls come up trying to talk to you, man, leave. Don't call them names or anything like that, but leave. You know what I mean? If you got to fake like you just got a phone call or a text, leave. Go outside and come back in and go to another part of the bar, or go to another part of the restaurant or wherever you are. The lounge. Do not allow yourself to be surrounded by unattractive people, because the attractive people will stay away. Right? And that's something this is something that you got to learn in the red pill space. You ain't got to be mean. Don't call her fat. Don't call her names. Right? Don't start singing those old running cadences. Don't look at her and say, fat girl, why you so big? You weeble wobble, just like a pig. We used to sing that when we ran in formation in the Army. We used to sing that. Fat boy, why you so fat? You weeble wobble, just like a rat. You can't, by the way, you can't sing those anymore from what I understand. They don't let you sing those cadences anymore. Don't, yeah. But what he's talking about is right, man. And here's the thing, man. Like I wanted to red pill dudes. Everyone says that the red pill guys are misogynists and stuff like that. And I'm like, like red pill dudes do not hate women. Well, I didn't say that they hated women. I said they were misogynists. Like that's what that means. Red pill dudes do not hate women. They want women. But at the same time, they may not. A lot of these dudes don't want to do the work it takes to get the type of woman that they're looking for. It's a lot of work, bro. And they just haven't done it and they don't want to do it. And then what? They get they feel bad, red pill rage, and they start sending the nasty text messages, but they just want to be seen. It's sad. Those are the weirdos. I said all the time, like, bro, if you in the chat talking about the girls on the panel and going in on them on every panel, you're a weirdo. You saying all these things and then you go over to their OF and you send money and you try to slide into their DMs. I mean, it's not a good look. But women also want dudes. Right? Women are changing the way they move because the guys that they want aren't talking to them. They can't do much about the tattoos. They'll do their best to cover them up. I'm noticing that more and more. Like women are trying to cover up their tattoos. And then when they do come out with their tattoos out showing, they're just out there being 304s, bro. Like they don't even care. They're just out there being wild with it. They don't care. And they know the Pookies and Ray Rays are the only ones that are really trying to holler at them. And just like I said, like being around the big girls, being around those girls with tattoos, the ghetto chicks, the ones with the hair hats, like Brother Michael keeps saying and all that, the bat eyelashes, just get away from them too. Because that's going to make you look a certain way. If you're gunning for the elites, then you can't be around the unattractive people, the ghetto people. You can't be around them. It's going to hurt what you're trying to do. If you're around them type people, they're going to assume that you are that. You kicking it with a whole bunch of ratchet chicks, they're going to figure you ratchet. You buying them drinks and all that. You're saying, like, I'm just being friendly. Like, bro, be careful. Be careful. That whole thing about the phone, if you're dealing with a woman or women, if you're dealing with a man that won't let you go through their phone, then yeah, absolutely, they're hiding something. 100% they're hiding something. And what I tell dudes this. Don't go crazy. Like grab her phone and she starts tripping over stuff, throwing the baby out the way, you know what I mean, running across traffic just to get you to not grab their phone or look at the message or look at the incoming call. Like, bro, you ain't got to talk about nothing. There's nothing to talk about. It's like, oh, here you go. My bad. I was just trying to help you out. My bad. And she's like, oh, snatching the phone. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Don't say anything to her. No need to argue. Just begin the process of breaking away from that person. Like, okay, put her in a rotation. She's not the one. She's not your number one. You can go ahead and put her somewhere in the rotation if you run the rotations. And if you're just out here looking, you thought she was the one. Once you see that, just nothing to talk about, bro. There's nothing to talk about. If I'm in a relationship with a woman, she knows how to unlock my phone. She knows the passcode. She can look at anything she wants. She can look at every app. You can get on Instagram, Facebook. Those are the only apps I have. You can get on WhatsApp. You can get on Telegram. I don't care. I don't care. That's day one. I don't care because I'm always telling you what the deal is. This is how I'm getting down. This is what I do. I don't care. Like, I got nothing to hide. Now, she's not reciprocating that and she's going crazy. Like, yo, don't look at my phone. She's like the phone's upside down. Like, you guys are out kicking it somewhere. You guys, having dinner or whatever. And she's got the phone upside down. She doesn't want you to see incoming information, bro. That's not the one. That's not the one. And that's the kind of stuff that the red pill talks about. They ain't never getting rid of that, bro. They ain't getting rid of the hair hats, bro, the weave hats. And see, Cody's right, man. You already got the answer. If she's going crazy over the phone and we've all experienced it firsthand, we've all seen it, that's not the one. But what do guys do? They just tolerate it because she's pretty. This is why I keep telling y'all, bro, you ain't a real G if you can't say no to a beautiful, like a legit 10. If you can't say no to a 10, then you ain't really mastered this game yet, bro. You a Padawan learner, man. You might, you might be almost ready for the trials, but if you can't say no to a dime, if you can't walk away from a dime, then bro, you ain't there yet. Simple.
I'm tired of seeing women that are wearing tons of makeup that look They look
Hair hats, makeup.
absolutely unrecognizable without their makeup on.
They look placed. Yep.
They're being told they're baddies. They're using filters, fake boobs, fake asses, fake hair, fake nails, fake eyelashes, contacts. And don't get me wrong, I want you to look pretty. Like the animalistic, barbaric part of my brain loves that. I want you to look pretty, so keep doing it. I'm not saying take your makeup off, because most of you shouldn't. Maybe on Halloween.
I'm saying take your makeup off. I want women who are naturally beautiful. Just put on maybe some lipstick or something, a little blush on or something like that. But women transform themselves with this makeup. I think that's a problem, but that's just me. Everyone's different. And when it comes to attractiveness, bro, only 10%, not even 10% of people out there fit in that higher echelon, right? That 7 through 10. Only 10% fit there, right? Everyone else, right? Everyone else is down the ladder, bro. Everyone else.
But all jokes aside, let's be fair. Let's be fair about this. I think more women need a wake-up call, because they're walking around here acting like they're better than people that they're not better than. That's not meant to like put you down. That's meant to fight off this onslaught of propaganda towards men. You're not tall enough. You don't make enough money. You're not this enough. You don't have this in the pants. And it's like it just never ends. It never ends. And I don't know why so many men want to push it too. I don't know why so many men want to push it too.
Come on, bro. They want to push it because they're trying to get on women. It's their game. It's their play. I'm going to back her. I'm going to say what she wants to say. Just like the other day, we were watching a video when the guy was talking to Myron, outside, and the guy was saying all this stuff about God and finding the right woman. Like, I listened to you and I went and I had sex with all these women and it was wrong. And and all the girls were like, yay. That's why that's their game. There are guys out here who will absolutely say what they don't believe around women, right? Trying to white knight because they think that's what's going to get them in. And it doesn't. That's why they do it. That's why they do it. Like, do you think a real player cares what's going on at the bottom of the food chain? Like, do you think he cares? Do you think a real G cares about the struggles of the guys in the bottom 80? You think he cares? He does not. He does not care at all. So the dudes who are talking, they're doing that. That's their game. That's their play. You see it if you're paying attention. You see it when you go out. You see it all the time. I love it when dudes be pointing at me and talking about me and saying that I'm this and that. He a player, da 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 da. And that same dude sees me leaving with the woman he was talking to because he's trying to get on her, trying to throw dirt on me to get her, and I walk out of there with her. I'll be winking at them dudes as I'm walking out the door. Good looking out, player. I'm gonna go home and do what I do. I'm gonna bring her back. You can have her now. Right? These guys, they just don't understand. And these dudes eventually wind up in a red pill as well. They wind up listening. They already listening. Right? It is what it is.
I don't know if it's just like a bunch of lonely guys that are trying to cope. They want to have some type of unity, so they want other men to feel as bad as they feel. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I see it being pushed from so many men. So many men disqualify their fellow man for various reasons. The conversation has to change. And to all of you that message me because you're upset, you're lonely, you're afraid you're going to be single forever, you're not alone. You're not alone. Most men, if they do not settle for women that are very trashy, let me be clear. If you are not willing to settle for women that are very trashy, you probably will be single forever because there's not enough good women to go around. There are not enough good women to go around.
I agree with that to an extent. I can see that. There are not enough good women to go around, I would say, in this region in America. So travel. There's not enough women to go around where you are. Travel. Go find her, bro. If you are a confident guy who is taking care of himself and has done the work, you can get a woman. All the women are at the finish line. The vast majority of them are at the finish line and they're waiting for the winners. No one wants a competent, successful, confident man more than these women out here, especially in America. And guys, if you're that dude and you're thinking I'm never going to have, because when I hear this, a lot of guys are saying I'm never going to have a relationship. It's like, well, they're talking about finding a wife. And I was like, well, start from the basics. Get out here and start talking to women. Like, get out here, like I said, do the catch and release thing. Like, go out here, talk to women, get her to the point where she's ready to let you smash. And if you don't want to smash her, that's fine, because you don't, if you don't want more bodies or whatever, I couldn't imagine that being the case. But if that's the case, okay, fine. But work on your skills, get to the point where you can make that happen. You're catching releases. So when you come across the woman you're looking for, and it's like, okay, your game is working. She's kind of cool. I like her conversation. All right, let's start vetting. Let's see where she really is. Let's see what's going on. Let's Let's do that. You can get into a relationship, right? And then a lot of guys are like, well, these relationships aren't going to work. Like, bro, you just don't know how it's going to end. You got to vet. You might vet and find out that she ain't the one. But if you want to go out here, it takes practice like anything else, man. You got to just stay out here and do it. Right. And you do have a lot of women who are, they're programmed to hate dudes. That's a fact, man. I was just thinking about that too. A lot of young girls too, man. They're coming out of their homes and they absolutely, like misandry is a thing, bro. They absolutely do hate guys. And at the same time, they want guys, but they don't know how to get them. They don't know what it takes to attract them. They don't know how to add value. Right. That's a fact, man. And this is why you might have to travel. You might have to go to some small village, Mexico. Hell, you can go to Mexico City and meet a good Mexican woman, a good Latina if you want. You can go to Cuba. You can go, to Peru. You can go to Uruguay. You can go wherever. I want to go to Venezuela right now. You can go to Argentina, or you can go to Eastern Europe, or you can go to Asia. Find what you like, and then I would move there if you can. Just go ahead and be an expat if you can. But there are a lot of American women who are programmed to hate men. I think that's changing too. Again, this is all part of this manosphere slant red pill thing. I think a lot of young women are watching this content, by the way. They're watching. And they're asking questions. And then they begin to pay attention. And they're like, yeah, bro, they're reading the same articles we're reading. They're like, bro, I don't want to be 40 years old, childless, with a great career. And no one in my life. I don't want that. These women are like, nah, I don't want that. They see the play, I'm gonna go to college and get a bunch of letters behind my name and I'm gonna come out and make a lot of money. They starting to see that that's not even the case. Right? You got, with first generation, and we're about to go into more of kids coming out of college, can't get a job. AI is taking all of the entry level stuff. So you're out of college, now you got $50,000 or more in student loan debt. Right? And you're like, oh my goodness. How am I going to make it? Yeah, go back home with mom and dad, I guess. And mom and dad are struggling. Like, man, everybody done invest in you to get this college degree, and you come out from Notre Dame or University of Kentucky or you name the school and spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 plus, and you can't get hired by Target. It's crazy. And Cody's right. A lot of these dudes are scum. They're simps. They're scum. They don't deserve it. You're right. And you're right. They got work to do. Right. But I think that there's plenty to go around for those people that are, regular folks. And then for the people who do the work, especially if you're a guy, if you've done the work, there are plenty of women that you can choose from. And all you have to do is vet and find the one that works for you. You know what I mean? Haitian women. If you can find it. I've met some cool Haitian women, bro. I have. And I've met some Haitian women that were too Americanized. Haitian women, Russian women, like Eastern European women. I'm always like, be leery, but they're out there. Norwegian women, bro, it's a big planet, right? There are women all over the place. There are good women all over the place. You can find yourself a good Russian, but just be careful. Be careful. You can find yourself a good Ukrainian, a good Polish woman. Just be careful. Same thing in France, bro. French women are great. They're amazing. But bro, they're real, like quiet feminists. You won't know what you're dealing with. This is why you got to vet. This is why you got to vet, bro. But they're out there, man. It's like these dudes that had the same problems in 4 different languages. Yeah, because the guys who lead with the wallet are going to have the same problems. That's why I tell the passport bros, like, you need game. Like, you're in the best country to sharpen your game. You're in America, man. Get your game up. If you can pull in America, you can pull anywhere on planet Earth. It's going to be easier. Right? It's going to be easier. The number one cheat code, bro, I tell folks all the time, tell these dudes, man, like, you want to get you an Eastern European woman, man, speak a dialect from over there, bro. Speak, speak some Polish, speak some German, speak some Russian. Like, if you can do that, that's going to really help you get to where if you want to get one of those type women. Make it real easy as an American. You speak their language. You don't even have to be like 100% fluent. But if you can understand and know some terms and stuff like that, bro, my Spanish has been broken for decades, man. But I still speak enough Spanish to get on. I speak enough Spanish to get my foot all the way in the door. And it's like an added bonus, bro. You speak the language. I speak just enough Korean to get the conversation going. I don't speak any Japanese. So next time I go to Japan, I definitely gonna have to practice, work on my Japanese and speak a little bit more Japanese. Like, you got dudes out here to be on Omingle or whatever, just doing FaceTime calls with people all over the world. And these black dudes that speak multiple languages and they just pop on and speak these languages, man. We're going to do a show on that so you guys can see it. Like, damn, it really puts you over the edge. Like, it gives you that extra boost. There's no pie in the sky. You're right about that. It's all work, baby.
And it sucks, man. Really, really sucks, and it's sad. And we all lose in the end. So you can make fun of men all you want and put them down because they're bald and put them down because they're not 6 foot tall. Put them down because they're brokies. They don't have no money. Go ahead. Keep it up. At the end of the day, I've said this 1,000 times. Men will do much better being single and alone than women will. That's just a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. When you lay your head down at night, even the saddest of men feel a little better and can cope with it better than the average woman. That's just a fact. So to all of you that are sad like that, I don't have something I can say to fix it. But what I will say is this. If sometimes when somebody's down and out and something tragic has happened, or they're heartbroken, or they're just upset, life's just kicking them while they're down, all you can do is sit next to them, give them a bro hug maybe, or a fist bump, and pat them on the back and sit next to them and say, well, bro, I'll sit here with you. I can't fix it, but I'm going to be next to you while you go through it. I got your back. And I guess a video like this is just me saying to you guys, I got your back. I can't fix it for you, but you can at least look at these comments and see that you're not alone. Many men have been put through the ringer with divorce. Many men have been scammed and lied to and stood up and ghosted, and many men have. You're not alone. So I guess that's what this video is, and videos like this are. They're just me saying, fist bump, I hear you, dude, and you're not alone. And I guess our world is going to go through this together. That's it.
He's right about that, man. Shout out to that brother, bro. That was that was a good video, man. And he's right. Many men are gonna go through this, and I'm with him, man. It's, and to those dudes, man, if you stumble on this content, bro, and you having those issues, man, hit me up as well, bro. I'll jump in that foxhole with you, bro. I know what it's like to be in a foxhole alone. I'm here to tell you, it's better to be in a foxhole with your buddy, with your battle buddy. Hate being in the foxhole by yourself, bro. So I'll jump in that foxhole with you. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I'll cover your flank, you cover my flank, and we can get through this. Yeah, it's definitely there's a problem with the testosterone. But I think even bigger than that, though, it's just a lack of confidence, man. That's where it comes down to. It's just a lack of confidence, because I'm telling you, bro, I put it all on. Everyone gets a trophy. That timeout generation, I put it on that, bro. You got your family done got you out here thinking that everybody's a winner. Then you get out into the real world and found out, nah, bro, there are winners and there are losers. And right now you are a loser. And they don't have the confidence and the know-how to push through that and become a winner. But again, this red pill content can help him. Michael Sertain, I'm always bringing up his name, man. But what he's doing with Men of Action, bro, he takes these dudes out and he teaches them how to play basketball. He teaches them how to dribble and how to shoot. Takes them on, out in the field and teach them how to throw a football and how to catch a football. That blew my mind. Like, damn, those motherfuckers don't know how to do that. That blew my mind. So if they can't play basketball, they can't play football, they probably don't even know how to play softball, can't play baseball. I mean, bro, our generation, bro, everybody played Little League Baseball. Everybody. Ask Brother Michael Lee on TV, man. There's this thing called the Baseball Bunch. A bunch of kids on the diamond. They get to talk to the big leaguers and all that. We was watching that. Everybody played little league baseball when I grew up. Everybody. Baseball was America's pastime. Now, football and basketball have taken over, but bro, we was out there playing sports, making up games. We used to have a game we played called Having for Supper. One day I'll tell you guys, remind me to tell you about how you play the game, but I'll tell you what you need. You need like a big old building or obstacle, that's in the way. A bunch of kids, right? You need a bunch of kids, a big building or obstacle, like kind of like, the front of the house is where you're going to play and all the kids in the back of the house, right? So you need a bunch of kids, a big obstacle, and a belt. And we called it Having for Supper, right? Very painful game. If you got caught, boy, it hurt. It hurt. Very painful game. But this is what we played. We played this game as kids. It's kids, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. Like this week in baseball, I remember that, bro. Throw up. We used to call it Killer Man. Throw up tackle, saying, throw up tackle. We called it Killer Man. So, you get the ball, we just in the bundle, we just throw the ball up, and whoever picks up the ball, everyone else tackles. Killer Man. And we used to hit hard. Cather Germ, like, we won so many tournaments when I was playing baseball as a kid. I played first base. Yeah, I played first base some. I was outfield mostly. Left, right, or center didn't matter. I was outfield mostly. I remember a couple of years I played third. But yeah, man, we all play baseball, man. We all play games. We get out there. And it hurts to play baseball, bro. Even as kids, man. It hurts. I was catcher once. I remember someone slinging the bat in my stomach. That hurt. I remember, getting beamed. Bro, baseball hurt, but it is what it is. But that's all I got for today, guys. You know what I mean? Like the red pill rage stuff, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it because dudes are just hurt and they're just trying to figure it out, but they get past it pretty quick. You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember This Week in Baseball, bro. I used to love that show, bro. The Baseball Bunch and This Week in Baseball, I used to love them shows. I wish they had something like that for football. Actually, I've been there was a time when I was out trying to get that, I was out pushing for that. You know what I mean? I was trying to get in the room and I wanted to pitch that idea like, hey, you should do like a This Week in Football. And, I was unable to make that happen when I was in Hollywood, but I thought it would be a good idea. Like, let's do This Week in Football. And it didn't happen. So if you guys know anybody in Hollywood, if you want to pitch that, please feel free to do it. Right. All right. That treatment is gone. We had a little treatment for it and everything, but we just couldn't get that off the ground. That's it. That's all I got, man. Shout out to Dev, you know what I mean? And shout out to Dad Mode and Dark Mode. Shout out to them. Both of those videos are linked in the description below. Please go over, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out what they got going on. Appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. And we're going to continue the conversation, bro. We're going to keep this going. Definitely going to keep talking about red pill stuff. I'm going to be talking about politics here real soon. I might even, like tonight, I'm shooting videos, I'm recording videos, and then setting up a date, like, to release the video, to premiere the video down the road. I'm trying all I can to try to get the numbers up, see if I can get the algorithm to like what we're doing over here. But it's like Dev said, bro, YouTube does not like this content. Why? Why is it that YouTube doesn't want men to stop being simpletons? Why is it that YouTube doesn't seem to want men to get gamed up? Why? Right? It is what it is. So, man, I appreciate y'all. This is it. This is all I got for today. I'm definitely going to try to come back tomorrow. And then maybe like Thursday I got to do a remote shoot somewhere. So maybe I'll talk Thursday. Friday I got a remote shoot. So maybe Friday after we do the shoot, maybe I'll come and talk about it. We'll see. But I appreciate y'all, man. And Cody's answering my question. He's like, because a lot of money is made off of simps. That is a fact, bro. That is a fact. So I'm done, man. I'll talk to y'all soon, man. Be safe out there, man. Take care of each other, bro. I'm DL Saint. This is That Really Want to Know podcast, man. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.
Bye.